Welcome back to Peace, Love and Tarot. This reading is for Scorpio, Sun, Moon or Rising. And Scorpio, this is your weekly intuitive tarot reading from March 16th to the 22nd. This week we have for you the Answer the Call Oracle card. We have some big energies here. We've got Temperance, Justice, Two of Wands, Five of Wands, Three of Swords, and the Emperor. So half the spread major arcana here, guys, and two very powerful, strong figures here with Justice and the Emperor. The more major arcana, often the more significant, the big themes in life this relates to, rather than the minor arcana, which are more the action and how it's playing out in your day-to-day life. So we do see a situation here that needs to be brought to justice, something that could have been a little bit tumultuous for a while. I think this week is about that recalibrating and healing, getting yourself into a position where you can really start to move forward. Some of you might feel like you're at a bit of a crossroads in life, and it's really time for you to take the reins and shape life how you desire now, so that you can answer the call of what your higher self really, the direction it really wants to point you in. So let's read out that oracle card to kick off. Answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? Your guidance is divinely guided. You are being called to answer the call of your soul. It might be scary, it might not make sense, but if you trust your soul's yearnings, you will live a life beyond what your mind could possibly imagine. Answering your soul's calling is not a one-time thing, rather a lifelong dance. Deep down, you already know what you long for, what your soul yearns for. Whatever you are called to do, this is your calling. Don't overthink it. Don't wait for permission. Just say yes. Most people are waiting for a step-by-step plan before they take the first step, but intuition doesn't work like that. It takes faith and courage to answer the calls of your soul, and that's why most people don't do it, but you are not like most people, Scorpio. Yeah, so it's likely that there has been a situation that's been holding you back from, let's say, living your best life or your aligned life for a while. Because in the recent past here, we have the Five of Wands, and I asked for clarification from the tarot for that, and I got the Queen of Cups. So I'm feeling that some of you were in a situation with somebody who was just not considerate of you, who was just not kind and compassionate, was not caring of your feelings. Now, Five of Wands can be an energy of conflict, but it's not as strong usually as, say, a Five of Swords. It's kind of a petty kind of argumentative energy that can kind of erode you or wear you down over time. So in a relationship, that could be just looking like that constant sort of tit for tat arguing or nagging each other. The love is gone, so everything that other person does, you're both triggering each other, and you're acting from a very reactive place. Rather than a place of really consciousness or love, that kind of thing. In the workplace, it can be gossip that gets out of hand, as well as in a friendship group. It can be corporate politics. It's that kind of energy. And Wands and Tarot are linked to our personal power and action. And you can see those people in the card there. They are literally using their power really unconstructively. So this conflict that you might have been in really has been, obviously, you've been drawn into that as well. We have people kind of using their energy and abusing their energy in a way that doesn't serve anyone, and that can really hold you back from your life's purpose. So this is all about getting you back on track, releasing this situation, bringing it to justice this week. That's what I'm really sensing. Now, 5 in tarot is the number of conflict, and it's also the number of change. So when I see these 5 cards, I always say that, change is the antidote to transmuting conflict. You have to change something, because as the old saying goes, if you do what you always did, you get what you always got. So we need to have a communication with the other person. We need to remove ourselves from the situation. We need to leave the toxic friendship, the relationship. We might need to change workplaces, or, escalate it to whoever your workplace, counselor or manager or something like that. But either way, I really feel with this Queen of Cups energy here is that you haven't felt nurtured in this situation. You haven't felt like your emotional needs have been being met, and you've been feeling unfulfilled for some time. And it's possible that it may have affected your sense of emotional stability as well. So it's really time to reconnect with that energy. And I feel like there's a certain amount of justice that needs to be brought to it. Now, obviously, with all these situations, guys, there are levels, but we do have the Three of Swords in the reading, so there is a certain amount of hurt associated with this feeling. So it's likely more than just somebody said something just slightly off about you behind your back or something like that. I think it's a little bit more serious than that. Because justice comes into a reading when a fair and just modification needs to come in to really rebalance those scales of life. Because the universal balance sheet, as they say, always adds up. So when karma has been done, wrong by people that may have abused their power or been manipulative in some way, that the wheel always turns and the scales always balance up. So I see things turning in your favor with this justice energy. This is time for the situation to be modified for the party that it should. Those scales to balance in the direction of the party that, has been, it's about wrongs being righted for the party that has had an injustice. And so it's not just for the person that wants it to, that manipulation that is not going to work anymore for that person. This is about you being victorious, Scorpio, in this. So with the justice energy, there can be legal proceedings. Obviously, it's a more serious situation. Divorce papers, separation, property agreements, or even if it's a workplace matter, getting out your contract and just knowing your rights before you go into any kind of conflict resolution or mitigation conversations, that kind of thing. Some of you might need to seek legal advice too. It might be related to a tenancy agreement with either a landlord, or you might be the landlord and have bad tenants. That's also something that's popped up for me. So whatever it is time to bring justice to that situation there. And then after that, I really feel like it's all about you getting back on track and doing some healing. There is a hurt associated with this situation. We can see that here with the Temperance and the Three of Swords, because the Three of Swords really shows, deep hurts, sorrow, sadness, grief, depression, that kind of thing. And Temperance is a great card of healing and restoring and rebalancing, restoring those emotional waters of life. So, you might be feeling a little bit hurt after whatever goes down in this situation, but we have to know that feeling the hurt is actually the first stage or the first step of the healing process. Because once we've exposed those wounds to the elements, that's when they start to heal, even though that can be very painful at the start. We have to remember that, there is a new future, a new journey waiting for us. 3 is also the number of manifestation. So it's saying by entering the stage of healing, that is the first stage for clearing the slate. So then you can actually manifest a new path in your life as well. And if you were feeling emotionally unsteady or unstable or uncared for in that situation, well, Temperance is the great emotional balancer. She has this angel has the water, the emotional waters of life, and she's doing the spiritual alchemy by moving them back and forth in these cups to restore balance, to restore your energy and all of that. Now, she wears the triangle on her gown because it's the most stable structure. So this is you coming back into a place of stability. And I like to say that the 3 sides relate to our mental, emotional, and physical well-being. So it's about making sure that we're checking in on each one of those things and giving ourselves what we need this week. And the more this process of rebalancing and healing goes on, this kind of rebirth process, that's when the sun or this new dawn starts to rise on the horizon, revealing the pathway forward. But it's only, as you start to come out of that cave, to lick those wounds, to heal. So there is that pathway opening up, but it just requires you to do some recovery from this situation. And then I think, Scorpio, it's time to get back to this question. What is calling you? What is calling your soul? I really feel that that's what this person here is contemplating as he stands there at the top of the castle, feeling that world in his hands or her hands. So I really feel that you might be at a little bit of a crossroads. I mean, the Two of Wands has been said to be the life review card. Some of you might, have some space after the situation dies down, if it's been occupying energetic space in your life, or somebody might be leaving your life, a partner or friend that you spend a lot of time with. So either way, I think you're going to have some space that you can now really think clearly about what you want. Now, this person here has the wand of the past here, but they have decided to grasp onto that wand of the future, and this person is determined to use that wand of power, of energy, in a constructive way to move life forward for the better, unlike these people here back in the old days. And he or she realizes that there are a fertile pastures, there is great endless possibility, but the Two of Wands asks you, are you willing to go beyond your comfort zone in order to answer that call, in order to get to somewhere far greater than where you may have been before the situation arose. And sometimes we need to be the emperor in these situations. The emperor is somebody who sometimes protects themselves from the emotions, so you can make strategic decisions of how to move forward in a practical way. Now, I wouldn't recommend that in this initial stage of the healing, because we want those emotions to come out, we want to process them and heal them. But after that initial part is over, then instead of kind of staying in that pain or wallowing in it, it's time to protect yourself from others, and from that place you'll be able to make really grounded, practical decisions. There might be an Aries person that comes into the mix to somehow guide or help you. It could be a mentor, a boss at work, an older husband or partner, a father-in-law, a father, that kind of person, or just an older uncle or an older friend as well. Now, the thing about the Emperor is this is somebody who shapes their world for the better. They don't let their world shape them. So this is you moving into a place of being action-oriented rather than being, responsive or apathetic or reactive to external circumstances. It's you getting into that control seat and really thinking practically about what you want for life, and making a strategic plan in order to start building your empire. It's just about you getting into a place where that's possible for you, where you can answer that call. And when we really consider what we want to do in our life that lights us up, that aligns with our passion, our purpose, there's an area called that blue flame, and that is where our passions and our skills line up. And if we find jobs and other things in lives, activities, all those sorts of things, that from that place, that's when we are really on our life's purpose, and that's when things often just really soar for us. So think about your blue flame, answer that call, and you have the opportunity to go somewhere far better for your life. So Scorpio, I'm going to leave it there. Hope you enjoyed the reading. Do keep in mind it's a general reading, so it won't be for every one of you guys, but feel free to leave me a message, because I always love to know if it resonates and how it's unfolding in your daily life. And I'll see you back here next week for another reading.